The sea holds many secrets. Some are buried beneath the waves, forgotten, but others drift silent, empty, etched into maritime history by questions that were never answered. One of those mysteries is that of the Mary Celeste, a ship found adrift in the vast Atlantic Ocean, her sails torn by the wind, her cargo untouched, the food still fresh in the galley, but her entire crew had vanished without a trace. This is the chilling true story of the Mary Celeste, a story that has haunted seafarers, historians, and ghost hunters for over a century. Part 1, the ship that should have arrived. On December 5th, 1872, a British brigantine named Dei Gratia spotted another vessel drifting aimlessly near the Azores, west of Portugal. The ship looked odd. Her sails were in poor condition, the motion erratic. No one was at the helm. The ship's name, Mary Celeste, painted clearly on the stern. Captain David Morehouse of the Dei Gratia recognized the Mary Celeste immediately. Just weeks earlier, he had dined with its captain, Benjamin Briggs, in New York. The two men were friends. The Mary Celeste had set sail on November 7th, 1872, carrying a cargo of 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol bound for Genoa, Italy. On board were Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and a crew of 7 experienced sailors. By all accounts, the ship was in excellent condition, the crew competent, and the voyage straightforward. So why was she now floating empty? Part 2, the discovery. When the Dei Gratia crew boarded the Mary Celeste, what they found chilled them to the bone. There was no one on board, not a single soul. Yet there was no sign of struggle, no blood, no broken furniture, no storm damage. The ship's cargo was intact. Food and fresh water for 6 months were still in the stores. The crew's belongings remained undisturbed. Even the ship's log was in place, the last entry made 10 days earlier, on November 25th, placing the ship near the Azores, close to where it was found. But here's the most disturbing part. The lifeboat was missing, and the only real clue, the main hatch was removed, and some of the sails were torn, but otherwise, the ship was perfectly seaworthy. What could have caused everyone to abandon ship in the middle of the Atlantic, leaving behind everything, without even sending out a distress call? Part 3, THEORIS and SPCULATIONS. What followed was one of the most infamous maritime investigations in history. Captain Morehouse sailed the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, claiming salvage rights. But suspicion quickly fell on him. Was it a trap? Had the Dei Gratia crew murdered the others to claim the ship? A formal investigation was launched, but there was no evidence of foul play, no signs of violence, no proof of mutiny, piracy, or even weather damage. So the mystery deepened, and with it came a wave of theories, some rational, others paranormal. 1. Alcohol fumes explosion. One of the most supported theories involves the cargo. Industrial alcohol. Some suggest that fumes from leaking barrels built up in the hold. Fearing an explosion, Captain Briggs may have ordered everyone into the lifeboat as a precaution, but there was no scorch mark, no soot, and no damage to support a blast, real or otherwise. Could the crew have panicked over something that didn't even happen? 2. Rogue wave or waterspout. Another theory is that a rogue wave or waterspout hit the ship, washing someone overboard or causing Briggs to fear the worst and abandon ship. But again, the Mary Celeste was found in good condition. No signs of flooding or structural damage. 3. Mutiny or murder. Suspicion fell briefly on the crew. Could they have turned on the captain? But their belongings were untouched, and the captain's quarters weren't ransacked. Besides, if there was a mutiny, where did the mutineers go? 4. Paranormal and supernatural theories. With every logical explanation failing, paranormal theories began to flourish. Some whispered of sea monsters, giant squids dragging sailors to the depth. Others claimed the crew had fallen victim to a ghost ship curse, or that they vanished into another dimension. One of the strangest legends says the ship passed through the Devil Sea, a counterpart to the Bermuda Triangle, and the crew was taken. And of course, there were whispers of ghosts that the Mary Celeste became haunted, cursed by something or someone that never wanted it to reach land. Part 4. Life after death. Despite the mystery, the Mary Celeste was repaired and returned to service, but misfortune followed her like a shadow. She changed owners several times, each suffering bankruptcy, ruin, or death. In 1885, under suspicious circumstances, the ship was deliberately wrecked near Haiti in a failed insurance scam. The last owner died in disgrace. Many came to believe the ship itself was cursed, that what happened in 1872 wasn't a coincidence, but the start of a dark legacy. Part 5. A mystery never solved. Over 150 years later, we still don't know what happened to the Mary Celeste's crew. There were no survivors, no witnesses, no messages in bottles, no trace of the lifeboat. The ocean swallowed everything except the ship. Why did Captain Briggs, a cautious, experienced sailor, abandon a perfectly safe ship? What could have driven an entire crew, including a wife and child, to vanish into nothingness? The Mary Celeste remains one of the greatest ghost ship mysteries of all time, not because of what we know, but because of what we never will. The sea doesn't give up its secrets easily, and sometimes it doesn't give them up at all. So if you're ever sailing across the Atlantic and you spot a derelict vessel, silent and drifting with no crew aboard, look closer. It might just be the Mary Celeste, still searching for her lost souls, or perhaps still carrying them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below. What do you think happened to the Mary Celeste? True mysteries never die, they drift.
Support and subscribe, guy.